يوم خراية 30 بيرخت غزيرا يوداعت زلغو بشلتشيد المكوس الزياخت يوم آشور جو جاردن اوف ايدن فانيوس. عودوتا بشتو مريستا بيد عليموتا آشوريتا the young Assyrians دينا خباوة من متوى أمتنايا آشوراية أستراليا. كجميل ريشانة شوتابوتا وبوليطيقايا وبني عمال مياقورة يرتوتا شمنتا. اتوالي إقارة عودنوا خكمم قبلانويات من أرخي قيرة ديوان طيوة تيمن مغزنو خنلقاها أمبورة كريا عالداها نسبة متخرتة.
I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our guests from federal, state and local government, as well as representatives from the Armenian, Greek, Jewish and Australian Southeast Asian network. Your presence here is not only a gesture of solidarity, it's a testament to your belief in the principle of remembrance, recognition and hope.
It's really important, however, for us as community leaders, and that's why we are here, to come in to stand by you, support you, to listen, and to stand with you in the hope that one day your dream will come true, which is for Assyria to once again have their homeland.
And it's great, every year we get to know, we get to experience your culture and your traditions. And today's event, no doubt, will give the young Assyrians more opportunity to delve further into your history and culture.
Shalom Lokon, Rika Yula Di Akula. Friends, it's wonderful to be with you on the lands of the Darug people, the Indigenous people of Australia, to honour and acknowledge the Indigenous people of Iraq. And I think what is different about Assyria Day, what separates it from Assyrian New Year and from Martyrs Day, is that ability to talk about and recognise Assyrian history and Assyrian future in one conversation. The fact that Syria was once a great empire is to be celebrated. But empires, my friends, come and go. Romans, the British, the empires are important, but a great empire can fall. A great people can never fall. And the Assyrian people have never and will never fall.
Shalom from Denmark.
Shalom Alaikum.
My name is Sada.
And my name is Dinara.
And I'm the chairwoman of Kabul.
And I'm a proud youth member of Kabul. And we are so excited to be able to send this message to Assyrians in Australia. And we are very happy to be a part of your conference and to share our story and our trip to the homeland.
For a nation and people to live, they need their culture, their language, their traditions, their faith, and their institutions. Ideally, they have their land as well. But I think the lesson of the Assyrian community here in Australia, and indeed the lesson of many communities who have been displaced or exiled from their homelands, is if they maintain their cultures, their institutions, their traditions, their faiths, then the nation remains. The nation remains alive, the nation remains strong, and one day we hope we can return.
Assyrian youth are not passive inheritors of trauma. We are its translators. Every post in Surat, every dance, every essay, every act of cultural expression is an act of authorship. And we do not walk alone. Jewish youth revived Hebrew. Armenian youth led the 2015 centenary. Where elders endure, youth ignite. And we too are that fire. But fire must illuminate, not consume, and ink must unite, not blur into discord. Too often we fracture over denominations, dialects, diaspora labels. But Assyrian is not a wedge, it is a bridge. You can be Chaldean and Assyrian, Syriac and Assyrian, Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant, and still a child of Ashur. Our name is not a border, it is the signature on our covenant with history. Recognition does matter, but no people survive as ghosts in someone else's museum. Diaspora teaches resilience, but not belonging. That must be rooted in land. Without homeland, identity fades into footnote, history into allegory, culture into costume. This is not a radical claim, it is a historical correction. Others reclaim states.
Young Assyrians, who tell incredible words. Your passion will lead to an Assyrian nation. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land which we stand on, but also the true indigenous people of Mesopotamia and the Nubia Plains, the Assyrian people. For thousands of years, your culture, your traditions, your faith has led that part of the world. And now as diaspora, you do the same here in the United States and in Europe. Thank you for what you do as being part of our community. Now, I've had great privilege to have so many members of the Assyrian community as my friends, as my neighbours over the last decade, represent you over the last decade, and to also represent you in the Parliament as the chair of the Parliamentary Friends Group. And you have strong friends, whether they be Liberal, Labor, across all political parties. And we all know about the genocide. We all know the history of the Assyrian people because of the work of men like Amiz Shaheen and others from the ANC and the Young Assyrians.
And the other thing I really wanted to talk about was the work when we talk about opportunity. Because when you look at the Assyrian community, and so when you look at southwestern Sydney, Fairfield and Liverpool, I'd argue that that's an area that's got one of the highest concentrations of Assyrians in the world, when comparable to America. And when you look at that community, and I know because I was born here from an Assyrian dad, it is a community that does struggle at times. There is a bit of disadvantage there. I have to acknowledge that. And when we reflect on that, and it was something that Chris Means and Hugh and all the other colleagues were talking about last week, when we look at the doors to opportunity, the door to opportunity relates to education. It relates to uplifting education, to give people that means to uplift themselves economically and socially. And it's something that we're committed towards, and I have to say that as part of the state government, that's something that we're doing, and I have to acknowledge our public schools out here, our Christian schools, and all the other schools out here that do that. But also I was pretty impressed with St. Marcy as well, and the facilities that they've got and the work that they do, because that all goes about bolstering, obviously, the educational foundations to the point where we can have this discourse tonight. And I must say, here in Mateo, and probably Daniel next, and all the other young Assyrians as well, it's your intellectual discourse that's going to shape ideas, and it's ideas that transcend through time.
My first cousin, Susan Yeoman, started Gishru in 2008. In the middle of all the sectarian violence, she decided to go back to Iraq. And she started leading trips for Assyrians to Iraq during Akitu, which is our Assyrian New Year. She moved to Iraq in 2018, and we were dumbfounded. You're moving to Iraq? Malach? You know, but I was still curious. Why would she move to Iraq? Why would she go do this? What's there? So I decided to attend Gishru in 2023 and 2024. Attending in 2023 was the most important decision of my life, and it completely reshaped how I think. I owe everything about who I am to this trip for waking me up. And there are many people here. Raise your hands if you've been on Gishru. I see so many of you. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can vouch for the same thing. For 2 years, all I could think about was Iraq. You know, how can I get back every single day? There were days I would go into work and I wouldn't even get out of my car. I was so depressed. I would literally go home, calling sick.
We will now be having a 30-minute break. Please enjoy refreshments and snacks at my right-hand side of the hall. Thank you.
الاسم بالخير؟
اسمي رامي من الطائفة المندائية، وأريد أقول أسوفة نهويلخ، وإحنا نقول أسوفة نهويلخ هو الشفاء، هم ترجع للكلمة السومرية والأكادية وباللغة المندائية. إحنا شرفنا اليوم دعونا مع أخوتنا الطائفة الآشورية، كل إحنا من بلاد الرافدين، وكل موجودين اليوم الأرمن أخوتنا والطائفة اليهودية والمندائية. إحنا هيك تجمع، هذا زودنا فخر وواحد يتعرف على الآخر.
احنا نشرف بكم اكثر. شنو رايك من السبيتشز، الكلمات اللي القيت اليوم؟ شنو رايك بهذا اليوم والكوميونتي الجالية الآشورية اللي دا تحتفل بيوم آشور أو أسيريا داي؟
نعم، أول شيء إحنا الطوائف يعني عامة تعرضنا إلى اضطهاد وهاجرنا الوطن، وطننا الأصلي موطننا، وتفارقنا والوطن عزيز علينا وما كانت الظروف، وتهاجرنا للدول الغرب فتحولنا ببابهم وعشنا بخير، بس مهما كان وطنك يبقى عزيز. فإحنا لازم نحافظ على تقاليدنا، على لغتنا، على الكولتشر مالتنا، ونوصل الرسالة إلى الأجيال. ما نحاول تاريخنا ينسي أو ينمحي. فإحنا كطائفة مندائية يعني إحنا هسه بقى عددنا 3000 في العراق، يا زال طقوسنا لحد الآن أباوع عليها كل ما بالتاريخ قوي. أشوف الدفنة المندائية قريبة على السومرية، هم يلفون بالقصب والبردين. الزواج المندائي قريب على الأكدي. حتى اللوفان اللي يسوونه نفس الأكدي هم يسمونه كسبو. حتى الطراسة الآشورية، الملوك الآشوريين لحد الآن يسموها بترمكي، احنا نسميها طراسة، يا زال احنا نكررها. يعني موجودة هاي التقاليد بس احنا ما نريد نخسرها.
أكيد كلام جدا صائب، وأتمنى دائما أنتم تكونون بالتوفيق، وأيضا أنتم لكم وجود، وأيضا لكم مؤسسات. إحنا نحييكم وأهلا وسهلا بكم ويانا.
شرفنا بيك، وتحية للشعب الآشوري كل احنا من بلاد الرافدين، شربنا من دجلة وفرات. تحياتي.
Oh, look, Assyria Day is an amazing day. It really is. It's a day where we stop and we think and we remember the Assyrian nation, a nation that for thousands of years took strong and built and then has been persecuted for their faith, for their beliefs, for their being Assyrian. And the Assyrian culture, the Assyrian language, is just so important. And so Assyria Day is when we reflect on that. But also, I think, as a community, as an Assyrian diaspora, but also as part of Western Sydney in Australia, recognise that the Assyrian nation will one day come to fruition. It'll one day happen. But we must keep that faith. We must keep our determination, especially amongst the young Assyrians, but throughout our community, to work together to make that happen. And today, that is why I'm here to show that support.
And on behalf of the Assyrian community from Zilgo Media, we'd like to thank you for your ongoing support. Every time we see you with the majors and even most of the events that the Assyrian community celebrate. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. It's a wonderful community. I love the fact I have so many friends and neighbours that are from Assyrian heritage, and I look forward to continuing to stand with you and working towards a true Assyrian nation one day.
Well, definitely an honor to be part of this important event, and really good to meet everyone, and can't wait for the dream to come true that Assyria become its own country again.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
We are very glad and honored to meet with the mayor of Fairfield, very well-known figure in the Fairfield area in New South Wales, and special for the Assyrian community. Also, we are honored to meet with Member of Parliament, Daily, member for Fowler. Very welcome. Thank you for your time. Please tell us, how do you see your experience today? And by the way, we thank you for your speech, but tell us what you feel and your vision of being here celebrating Assyria Day.
Well, it's always great to come together and support the Assyrian community. The Assyrian community has done so much for our community here. You've got such a long history, a heritage, traditions and culture that spans across thousands of years. And I think the wonderful thing is just being here and seeing the passion in Assyrians, but especially the young Assyrians, to be able to continue to fly the flag, continue to be proud of where they come from their DNA that's in their blood, and to continue to celebrate it, promote it, and making sure that the Assyrian dream stays alive.
And also would like to say, Frank, thank you so much for using our language in Fairfield city area and most of the publication. We really value this. Thank you so much. And also would like to move on to Daily. Thank you so much for being here. What do you think of your participation here, your view, and also we'd like to thank you for your speech.
Great. Look, it's wonderful. As the Mayor said, it's such an honour to be here. And of course, the Assyrian Australian community here in our Fairfield, Liverpool region, for me, it's a representation of resilience, They have risen from the ashes. They are, and it's great to see the young people now taking leadership roles in ensuring that their history is passed on and shared with the wider community. So it's great to be part of today's conference.
And we just would like to say thank you so much for your ongoing support to the Assyrian community. Thank you so much.
Happy Assyria Day, everyone.
We are very honored and glad also to meet with Miss Bratil David, President of the Young Assyrians. دبرنت شوتابوتا ينسات عليمة أطوريتا متوى أمتنا أشورايا رابب شينا Bratil همزمتخي ورابسنتا outstanding speech. Can you tell us what does Assyria Day means to you? كريوتا قد ناشدين بشمايخ لك.
Tanyan Khacha Bisurit, Khacha be English. To start off in English, Assyria Day is a very important event because it extends beyond our usual events where we talk about the atrocities of 1915, and it's more of a forward focus on the future. And the fact that we as an Assyrian nation who are inherently Christian believe in the Bible, and the Bible does say that one day we will have Assyria again. And Assyria Day is a celebration of the fact that if we put faith and trust in our Bible, and if we strive and work towards it, that we will one day have a homeland. Ubi Surat, Assyria Day ila Khayuma, especially Udyo, qad vidalan centered around youth. Because your community dian roba opportunities at youth. Roba organizations at youth atlan at umta, at ita, cultural, Ina بخشابن قد دانا تيتلا قد كل any organizations هالخي مو داله because your community dian رابا eaten separation بلدني groups أختي بد أفيلان أي يقرأ أي strength in كل any groups هالي مو داله وهيريقا وداله قد خايما أفيلان أها homeland at Assyria.
باي خمر خاتق براتي لخنا جزلجو ميديا رابط لني قارة بيخ هنشن بغزايخ الله وبسبارخ منا خطوات خام دبرنتا ريشيتا ورابا مخبطتا يعني اكتف جو شوتابوتا اشوريتا لخا جو سيدني استراليا وجو كل الدنيا تهنيات قاتخ congratulations again خاجة خيتاب كريوتا مسيت امرتلان باست the young Assyrians من قام ختمر.
The Young Assyrians Ivacha Youth Organization قد رابا بلخلون خاتشا خشلا dormant قد خرشنا من قام أديا أنا ومستر رامسون إدوارد تفلن يوخا coffee shop وتخمنا قد دانا تيتبا قد revive أو دخلا Young Assyrians rewrote Vidalan Constitution, refocus Vidalan because ANC قد إلى parent organization ديان Assyrian National Council رابا بلختلا قدها أمتا وأن elders قد إنا جابو قد أبسابونا دي قد أديا unfortunately من يخلي إذا خدنا من founders ديو رابا بليخنا قدها أمتا ورابا advice اتلون قاتن و it was time قد youth body جارفسا وأخنا يلبق من ديه قد أبخا يوما أخنا كمتق أوداخ مودي آني بدلون وبوش سودا so تبلان و revive دالان و hopefully كمتق حلقق من organizations خينة قد أهنيشد أسيريا شات سخلا.
شلوم لكل عميدا بشينو من يشمخ قميته
أنا اسمي إنانيو
بشينو ساقي دخ how can you see the Assyria Day وتودي دي ويلخ أمن أوديو so tell us about your experience and what's the Assyria Day means to you.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having us. To me and to my cousins, Assyria Day means a day of basimutho u psihoyutho la uthoroye kulle debrito, and we're very happy to be here today.
تودي ساقي تيحو ذا العاميدا كله دي لا فروجة ده رابا بشينا بيوخن بتبقخ أم الدنم يقراتي من جمعية برطلة رابا بشينا إثيتو أذيو مع عمن بشينا بقوخ.
شكرا على الدعوة ونحن اليوم كلش سعيدين نشارككم بهذا اليوم اللي هو بمثابة رسالة محبة ووفاء نشارك بها مع المجتمع الأسترالي تراثنا ونعتز فخرنا بهويتنا
واكيد احنا همين جدا سعداء لان انتم اليوم حضرتوا معانا من قبل جمعيه برطله. الاسم بالخير؟ لانا، اهلا وسهلا ست لانا. ايضا نلتقي مع ست
خالدة ناجي من جمعية برطلة، عضوة بجمعية برطلة.
يابا بشينا ست خالدة ما كبت أمرديخ كم خزت لي إديوم يوما مشاركتك في يومة أسيريا داي.
شكرا جزيلا. لاي دعوتكم دقم داعيتو لن إجو بهذا يوم بريخة يوم أسيريان داي ديتخون وبصيخة يحيل بهذه دعوة قم ميويتو لان. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're very glad also to interview another great guest, and today we are honored to have the Jewish community with us, members of the young Jewish community with us, participating in the Assyria Day. Can you tell us what's your vision and what's your opinion of your participation in today's event at Eden Venues Assyria Day 2025?
As Jewish people, the Assyrian people are our cousins. We come from the same region. We've interacted with each other a lot through our history. Our language, our writing system is Assyrian, and so we're cousins, and we want to show support, and that's why we're here. We believe we have a lot of similarities, and we're kindred people.
Thank you so much. What about you?
Yep. I want to reiterate that. Yep, I believe that we are cousins. We are both descendants of Shem, and also, I believe that we have a lot of shared experience in addition to being cousins, our experiences of persecution, of genocide, of being minorities in the West Asia, Middle East. And I think it's just really important for us to show up.
Indeed, and I believe you've been massacred before in a genocide, and we share the same similar history, of course. And just by curiosity, do we have lots of Assyrians in Israel? Do you speak a bit of Assyrian or Aramaic, or you full-on Jewish, or you speak Hebrew? Do you speak a bit of Aramaic or Assyrian, or no?
No, I don't speak any Assyrian, but it's very similar to Hebrew. It's they're all Semitic languages. So even when I was hearing the Assyrian on the screen, it reminded me of Hebrew. It's very similar.
Indeed, it is. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to say, I'm still learning Hebrew even, but I would love to also learn to speak Assyrian one day and help the language stay alive and keep growing.
Indeed. Thank you. Todi Rababshin. مدري بغدايق تبقى خام تريم يقرأ إيفان يلدا خامن داني هدامت شوتابوتا أشوريت لخي Sydney, Australia. Ivan Yelda, one of the well-known Assyrian business owners. Thank you so much for being with us. What does Assyria Day means to you?
Look, Assyria Day is very important to us. It teaches us a lot about who we are, where we come from. Today was very special. We learned something different than what we usually listen to, what we usually hear. Having Mr. Sada here explain to us life in Iraq at the moment actually really opened our eyes. I learned so many things that I didn't know before, and actually it's making me excited, and I want to go back and talk to my family about visiting. Especially in terms of the business aspect. We just heard that it's easier than we think to actually go buy land and create business. By creating businesses there, we're actually creating employment and giving opportunity to our people there that can work for us. So it's a great thing.
Indeed it is. And also it's an honor to meet with the Honorable David Saliba, Member for Parliament. Thank you so much for being with us. What's your vision, and what does Assyrian or Assyria Day means to you, especially for a half Assyrian, and we are proud that you are a member in the government?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. It's about staying in touch with your culture, about learning about your past. Now we can go about shaping our future as well. And it's just great to see young people getting in tune with that. And today was effectively a lecture. It was effectively about teaching us more about our past and what opportunities can happen in the future. And I'm very, very, very excited in that space.
And I also would like to thank you for a very great speech. Basima Raba, Todi.
Oh, thanks so much. It's great to be here, and thank you for letting me come and express my thoughts on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. It is great to meet with another great young Assyrians. Let's start with
Rama,
Rizal, and Valentina.
Thank you so much, guys. Rabab Shena Biyochon, Modirat Sechmantochon, Chabukarach Bakran. One simple question. What does Assyria Day means to you?
Shana Ganoch and Assyria Day means, well, it gives us hope that one day we can go back to our land and be with our people one day. B'chat Allah.
Assyria Day means that we're still alive. There's more survivors that we can make it every year and every year with more people, with more culture things that we stay in together.
I think Assyria Day is very important to celebrate because it gives us hope that we're still living and we're here, and to keep our language and identity as well. That's what I think Assyria.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for your speech, and God bless you all. Thank you. بتبقى خامن داني رابا مخطة التيك توك يخزيتوني إلى خالينغويستيك يعني ملشنانا يمخب لشانا عشوراي رابا كمالب ويقارة وياود بوصايا رابا بغداين رابا أنطون ديت منا نقديم يوما مضيلا. Can you tell us what does Assyria Day means to you? يومت آشور مودي لمناي ديو كأنطون روبرتس.
بسيمة رابا وشلام على أخوان. يوم آشور قاتي إلى خمعنا يتصورة قبل يوم ثاني. قطوسا برسوبا إثاني كي مثلا فيديوهات على التيك توك قد مخن لشانا أثرايا قد يوم صورة قد على وعلى مثلا دي لشانا الحالة اللي بخايا وحالة اللي خا لشانا درايا يعني خا modern language قد حواس شالط بياثا يعني independent من كل أنا لشانا لا لشانا إنجليشية لا لشانا عروايا يعني قردايا برسايا أخنا إطلق لشانا الجانا ويوم آشور إلى خيوم قد مضي لي دي أو من درابة مث مصيانة يعني possible
بايخ مضيخ لخ أنا بجاني ورابا مغدي إينا تودي قرطة سبيطيتون أنطون إلى برية أستراليا من يما شريته وبابا نخرا يا ماس خمر مخلطة دي المرة نخرا بس إلى إنجليشاية ماس بوس بايمرن إنجليشاية مخلطة طلابن إقارن إلى قاتخ مرينا عطر بابخ ويمخ وبتمرخلو تودي قامت قبابخ وخرتق يمخ دينا هدخ مقمخ بدالي شانا سودانا باسيمة مو بيت أمر بدامن دي من جيب كويكلي داخل مخبت له من دي داخل مصلت له عنا فيديوهات الديوخ كريوتا مضيلا
يعني أنا كيبن يعني منطقة إجارتك على ماذا أو على ما دي رابع لما مثلا رابع لا possible يعني خبر صوب المخواثي دي لين بنخا يعني أنا I'm not full Assyrian يعني إلى مثلا قاتي وقا كل خن.
تودي قرت أنطون God bless وبمنتيتا هاوت always.
تودي بس مرابا.
دانيال سادا تخمن تخموديو بأوديوم بريشائي تغزيلو خمنيانا قورة عليمة ورابخ ديلي. What's your opinion about you and your feeling? I would say, what's your feeling delivering this speech or this presentation, especially mixed feeling between Iraq and here in Sydney, Australia? Tell us about it.
رابا من بصيخة تلا برستيتا الله رابا بصيخة من تنخز يخك ما يعني رابا علي ما أخا يعني رابا من خديا ورابا إتلي صورة قدعتي قد رابا من أن برسوبتين إتيا إديو حاولوا برست قد آزي الأطرة وخضري أخ آن خطيرة وبخلت على خيومة أوباني بيشي بيشان تام أخ آن بيشة فرابا صورت لي رابا بصيخة رابا من طنانت منتها من عليمة أطراية وكل تينا إتيا إديو خلت على كل نحاول برست قد تبقى خجيخة قط
صليلو جو فيرفيلد غزيلو خناشة ينهلا
خزينا فيرفيلد مشهوري لفيرفيلد
كمالا بدماء مخ أربل وبغداد
رابا كله أن محلات وتخ يعني إيكت آزن السرايا يعني خمندي رابا غريبي وا إن مودي رياشن وإنه دولة عنكا دولة راب إيكت آزخ يعني هري جمخ وهري مشتف عمق هذا
ينحكي قهنا جوتش الضيرخ ينبص بيدولا لخ
دورا شرفة دورة قميت تيوا خدش قولة لبل وتاما
رابط لنقارة رابا أو تسودي قرصة قدا دليفري دي ودالو خديو مقروتخ قداها رمشة
ليش ريشي بالسيمة
من تيتهاود
السيمة رابا
شمك بشينا
Bratil Ishu.
برتيل إيشو مودي لرياشيات الديخ ين خابو قارة ورابا بشيطة very simple داخت بغزايا ين مودي لمنايت يومة آشور تريبس ريخمشة قاتخ. What does it mean to celebrate Assyria Day?
Assyria Day ila Khayuma qad odakhla recognize the first civilization in the world and to preserve our culture, our language, and I am proud to be an Assyrian.
Todi, بخشاوت بت شوتبت. Will you participate in future events at أمتا عاشوريتا شقلا شوبا ين شقلي بقرن قدعتت in the future شوتبت بزودقو events دينا بتايا؟
Of course, Raba and Anqaitela qad odakh participate و أنا مديانة و I encourage everyone to participate in these events.
We are very proud of you. بس مجانخ مريا بارخ لك وبمنتيتو هايت كل دان.
بسيمة راب.
وهتخا بختاموخ اللومادة ات يومة آشر التريل بيوس ريخمشة ما يوتا بوش زودة يطر اتوا عليمة وعليماتي وآها ايوا اقرمتا بوش قرتا ات امرخ تهنياتا قيانج السيريانس ساعتت عليموتا ات متوا امتنايا آشورايا ات أستراليا ات مريستت الداها يوما هدام من شلطان أستراليا بعليوت الدية ودرغة اتوزر مطيوة قداها ين حاضري واتندد قداها اللومادة إينا أخدخ بغزايا الله ما كل أديم يوما إينا مشوت بشركي قداها لومادة بتبائش صورة ات يومة آشر قلبواتت كل آني دي ومطيوة أديم و إتيه قداها لومادة بتمخيخ اليوم آشر من كل إيكا ديوخ ومن كل إيكا ديتن قشوقة اللن صورا بتخيه وآشر أطرد ديا بتقايم أخدي لك توتا جو تاوى قديشة جو عتقتا جو خدتا بتقو بدهاو يوما بتهاوي خا قشرة بالآشر ومصراية بتصالي سلوتا وسخدي المريا تروينتي وإسرائيل أطرت إسرائيل بتقاوي آني تليتاي من داها خبرت مريا بتشوقنا خون بشينا وقومة اتهماشا صور الدين ينهوب أمل دين بتخيه هل تخزخ له خون مدرق ولو مادي خينة ينقو أرعت آشر بوشن بشينا